Hi everybody, welcome to Materia D&D, where we play D&D our way. It's been 3 months. We had a wonderful break with an awesome filler arc run by James, who plays Ben, Dregnar, and Jarcy. Um, it was called Mother's Wishes. Really honest, we had a blast. If you have a chance to check it out, there's a full playlist on our YouTube. Uh, our one shot turned to an 8 shot because we do RP% here. So it ended up being about 3 months, and it was great. So in that time, though, we mainline materia was on break, and we had uh, time to really hunker down and start our main migration from D&D Beyond. Not a sponsor, but a system that we used for 5 years now. Uh, Really great, but unfortunately, it's kind of fallen behind the times, especially in the terms of how much we've customized our way of playing D&D, where we play with our rule set of 5M, and we are implementing and starting to utilize more and more of Foundry virtual tabletop. Again, not a sponsor, but hey, shout them out. Main reason for that is we are actually able to create everything, or we're in the process of creating everything. 5M, so our system has over 3,000 changes from what has been printed in, well, about 3,000 changes of what's been printed in 5E. So it's still 5E at its core. It's just brought up so that all the older stuff is still fun and enjoyable. And it's we want to give the players some more power and some more agency. So that being said, we're not done transitioning to Foundry. This is going to be continuously being patched, continuously being updated, continuously being worked on as we have time. We all have busy lives as well, so we can only do so much. But for this little first part of tonight, we're going to go over the changes that some of my players may have made since we did such a huge overhaul, especially to the feat system, especially to the more combat oriented feats. That as I have a rule that stands forever since day one, is if I, as the creator of Materia, if I make a real big change, my players are able to retroactively make a change, and it's as if they've always had it. So since we did so much feat work, rather than allowing my players to only change one bullet point in one of our feats per level, they are now able to completely go through and redo their feats. Some players have taken advantage of this. Other players have basically, locked in and are very happy with what they've been running, but they may have gotten a couple quality of life changes. So that's what we're going to do now. We're going to go over our mainline materia Crass Menagerie characters in order, allowing the players to kind of talk it through if they wish. I will be here to help them as well because it's my responsibility to know what's going on. Um, and yeah, we'll go over those changes. So the first character that's on alphabetical is Allegretto. So Al, if you want to, you can talk. I can talk. We can both talk. Whatever makes you happy. Uh, but yeah, please let us know. Give us a reminder who Al is, what Al is.
Yeah, I can kick it off at least, and then probably hand it off at some point when we need to find your details. Yes, this is Allegretto, Tiefling Bard. Um, it's kind of the charisma of the group. Doesn't really fall in line with that. He kind of stumbles a lot, but he gets by. He can put on a face when he needs to, but with his friends, he'll be his real self. A bit of a dunce, but he gets the job done. Very caring. He. Are we going for the full description? Should I go like a?
However you want to. Just uh, you know, give them. However, I don't care. It's up to you. Whatever you're comfortable with.
Okay, okay. Um, he's mostly he's just about the same from how he was in D&D Beyond. Just a lot tracking's a lot easier. Um, Referencing things a lot easier. He's got so many passive buffs that's actually trackable now. Tracking resources is very nice. Spell list is increased. D&D Beyond had a hard limit based on level. and the Materia's got a different system for how many spells you can prepare. I guess base of
That's a
that,
big thing. Yeah.
bards weren't prepared casters in base in vanilla, so D&D Beyond didn't support that at all. I had to abandon that spell list a long time ago, and I've just been maintaining it on a TXT for the last, I don't know, 40 sessions. But now I can actually count my spells, and it's like, oh, I can prepare 21, count it up, super nice, super easy. Then there's a filter for the ones I've prepared versus just my favorites. It's a good time. But there's so many spells, so many items. Um, a lot of my magic items work now. Still kind of running through the items and filling out a few passives. The equipoise, per se. I'm
Hmm.
filling that out now. I think the only feat that changed is part of the most recent patch. It was. Gotta go to features. Resilient. Resilient Major, level 12. I took to the
So
bottom.
something I can speak to that. So something that we
Mhm.
saw is that in various playtestings that we've done, as well as various characters that we've created for different campaigns or mini campaigns, one shots, two shots, RP percents, and Crass Menagerie, the feat tough as nails, which is the parent feat, almost always came with the same two bullets and then a third floating bullet, and that's too. That means it's probably too powerful, and we came to the executive decision that in 5e, there's understood that there's major saves and minor saves. Major saves being Dex, Con, and Wisdom, minor being Strength, Intelligence, and Charisma. And that's mostly the distribution of the saves as you would encounter them. So majors you're more likely to run into. So what we did is in 5e, there is the resilient feat. You basically take a stat, and become that stat also gives you proficiency in that save if you don't already have it. Ours is a little different. We broke it up into two types. So there's resilient major, which covers the major saves, and there's resilient minor. Resilient major now counts as two bullets within a feat. A feat is made up of three bullets, so this one eats up two of them. So Al technically has most of the same that he was. He just took the cost of resilient major constitution, turning it into two feats. He dropped durable, which was the one that allowed him to heal max whenever he was healing hit die.
Mhm.
And he kept tough one, which gives him 1 HP per level. So right now it gives him 15 HP because we're 15th level characters. So that's really the only change really, that I'm aware of. But it is a balancing thing because we want things to be fun but powerful, but still in line. And that happens to be one of the major ones that we just recently made. So go ahead, Al.
Spot on. That's the only change I'm aware of as well. One other thing I wanted to add was with Foundry and the ability to like edit stuff, um, going level by level, it's way easier to track what I got from a level and hey, this spell's on my list. Why the hell do I have it? um, I don't think in the last 170 sessions I ever accidentally had a spell that I wasn't supposed to have, but now I know for sure, like, oh, this is part of this spell list. Oh, this is magical secret. Oh, I'm cursed. Oh, that's fun. Um, it's nice to know why I have that spell and how often I can use it. That's another thing. The always prepared. Um, the spells are like super locked in. It's just I think I have like six of them or so. Um, no preparation. They're in my blood. I always have these spells. It's way easier having that than trying to track it on a TXT and pasting something wrong. Oh, I have 27 spells today. No, no, it's just way easier.
And I'll say something that we're teaching our players. So when I say we're teaching, the Davis, so Danny,
Yep.
the individual that plays Davis, has really been the driving force in all of creating of these modules. Uh, taking my ideas and making them possible in here. And we're teaching our players how to utilize these tools in this module. And something that uh, is nice, it actually allows us to accurately represent all the changes that we've made, and it allows it so our players are not having to be confused. Something that a bard in Materia gets, for example, and this is where Al was going on with spells, is each college expands their spell list. It doesn't mean that they haven't prepared, they just can pull from them naturally. And then on top of that, we gave every bard an additional magical secrets. Just because you're a bard, it's cool. Let's just give them some more magical secrets. So Al, as a Valor bard, instead of only having 2 at this level, he's actually got 4 magical secrets. And those are considered always prepared. And since we made bards, we made every caster a prepared caster just because, I don't know, fuck it, let's have fun.
Way
It
funner.
allows,
Versatility is fun.
yeah, versatility is fun. It allows Al to now okay, counterspell is a magical secret. It is always prepared. Find Steed um, is a magical secret. It is always prepared, and so on and so forth. So it just kind of eliminates the confusion, hopefully. And what's nice about it is everything is a snapshot. So anytime they grab anything from our module repository and put it on their screen, on their sheet, excuse me, my players can make any change they want, and it will not harm anyone else. It is for their eyes and for their accessibility. So that's what I got there. Anything else, Mr. Al?
Mostly I just want to echo the props to Davis, Danny. This is
Yay.
yeah, the training sessions and the several ass loads of data. There's so much that got ported into this. They got and fixed up and patched to make it work. The getting up to speed and little training sessions, it was very smooth. Then I can see how much custom stuff there is, and it's like, oh shit, this was a lot of there's a work of love. This is really nice to see between Danny and Adam building all this up for us. So thank you for that.
Yeah, I'd estimate it's over 100 hours of work so far.
Sounds right. Sheesh.
But I had 2 things for Al, if I may.
Go for it.
Al, roll your attack roll.
Yes.
So this, for one thing, this will demonstrate the Foundry, but also this will be a fun shock for the rest of you. You'll notice a lot of dice when he rolls his attack. Assuming, yeah, okay. He doesn't get 3d4 to his attacks, and if you look at the chat formula, it's a weird nightmare.
I get decimals.
Well, so yeah, lose a little bit of HP, then you'll get some decimals. So this is because of his Mangler's Mask. So this is something that in D&D Beyond, there's no way we could do this. So he's got a yeah, now you see decimals in his calculation. But we tested it. It's good. It's right. So because his Mangler's Mask, based upon what percentage HP he has, he gets potential bonuses to attack rolls and or damage. So that's what these calculations are in here. So, but now he can never forget it. It'll just work no matter what. It's based on his HP. It looks like a goddamn nightmare, but it's correct.
That's why you just kind of put a blanket on it and say, "You've done good. You've done good."
Yeah.
No, that is huge. I had a spreadsheet to calculate this damage. I'm like, "What's my HP?" Okay, and then
Yeah, now you don't have to worry about it. And this will even account for if this will account for if your HP max is reduced or increased, like if you get 8 or if you get a Hero's Feast or if you get, some sort of curse that reduces your HP, it'll just work. So.
Hell yeah.
The other thing I had
read that one too. That was fun.
Was this guy. You have the Mangler. We created the Mangler. So for the Mangler's Mask, he also has the feature if he drops 8 to 0 HP. Now we have the thing that represents it, and we updated it correctly. It's got the correct feature set and all this other stuff. Like you'll notice if you open it up, it's immune to every condition because that's what it says. It's got the right damage immunities. It's got all sorts of stuff. So it's just the level of customization we can do. I have hover speed. Yeah.
It's my boy.
Does it also roll with the bracket, the lowest bracket?
No, that's the one thing we couldn't do because it's not an effect like this guy.
Got it.
So
someday maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
We'll have to make it. You might be able to put the effect on him, right? Because you could customize it further.
I could. Yeah.
And then we could build that in. So nice, very cool. Yeah. Anything else, Al?
That covers everything comes to mind here.
Cool.
With the my last 2 things, items. I finally have the Burly Belt finally works, and what was the other one? The bag of holding finally works. It's so nice just to.
Yeah,
I have bags. Nice. I like folders.
Yeah, that's the thing is we have these containers, and you can see at the bottom it has like a little gas gauge showing how full it is. Well, this thing can hold 800 pounds, so it has a bunch of stuff in it, but it's nowhere near full.
Piece of cake.
Very cool.
Since we actually do encumbrance rules and stuff, so that's kind of nice.
So yeah, that's something I know it's not part of this, but yeah. So our play, we have again some rules, we have some customization, and my players have since the beginning enjoyed. I hope they still do some resource dependence. You know, healers kits, rations and food. Weight is another one, just because yeah, it's kind of fun to sometimes play with your RPG limitless pockets, but sometimes it's kind of fun to keep it a little bit grounded. And since Al has a 8 strength, it's been
Ah,
it's been a lot of fun at times.
nice belt.
Cool. Yes. Thank you, Al.
Thank you.
Nice man. Yeah, of course. All right. Well, jumping on to the next in alphabetical order would be Bara Anna Zechtep, whatever. Ben. I'm sorry.
Okay, yeah, I want to start off with saying, again, thanks to Danny and Adam for everything you guys are doing here. So I know it's a lot of work, but I think it's going to pay off. So Ben had several changes due to some tweaks to the system, which are going to be for the better. The aforementioned Resilient Con was one of them. And then Adam refreshed my memory. What was I can't remember the name of the feat with the basically it was the sharpshooter magical thing that we changed.
Oh yeah. So yeah. So a lot of the early feats that we did, it was under ranged combatant. And people know this. If you play 5e and you min max characters, you know that point blank shots, for better or for worse, which is a feature under the ranged specialist. I forgot what it actually
Sharpshooter,
the,
I
the
think.
name of the sharpshooter. Thank you. Yeah, it says that you can make ranged attack rolls within 5 feet without disadvantage. So, as written, Ben was built with half feet. He took ranged combat specialist so that he could do spells with ranged attacks at melee. However, we don't like that, so we actually created the equivalent of that in the parent feat battle magic. So if he really wanted to do that, he could take the battle magic, and it specifically is for ranged
Spell
spell
attacks.
attacks. And then in the ranged combat specialist, which is for thrown weapons and ranged weapons, that one has for those weapons in 5 feet. So Ben dropped that because he didn't need it anymore, and he went a different route. So go ahead.
Yes.
Yeah.
So between that and changing out the resilient con to feet, I lost 15 hit points. So one of the things I took is to help compensate that, but I'll get that into a second. But I have a lot of feats that are going to be testing feats because we've never actually done them before. So level one, Ben changed up a little bit. I still have Enlightenment one, but I took Magical Training one, which allowed me to take Rapid Ritual, which I'll throw in this chat right there. Basically, it allows me to reduce the casting time of a ritual spell from 10 minutes to 1 minute. Then
Yeah.
I also took Eldritch Adept, which allows me to choose one Eldritch invocation. And to kind of compensate for the Resilient Con, I took this one, which is Eldritch Mind, which allows me to have advantage on a Constitution saving throw at any time, not just when I take damage.
And that, just to clarify, it's so in Warcaster, it's you take it whenever you take damage to make a concentration check, which is just a con save. This is anytime. So if he's taking environmental fatigue, or if he's falling a great distance or something, so it's a little bit more well-rounded, or the upgraded version essentially.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yes. Plus, it kind of goes with Ben's other plainly type
Yeah.
things. So for level 4, I kept Gift Enlightenment 2, but then I decided to try to find something to compensate for the 15-point loss hit points. So I took Armor Mastery, which Al's familiar with that one. He seems to like it, so I thought I'd go ahead and do that. But then I also grabbed this one, which I believe no one has taken yet, which is Heavy Armor Momentum, which allows me to use my Strength modifier instead of my Dex modifier for my initiative rolls.
But your negative deck still impacts it now.
I do not have a
Oh,
negative
you don't.
dex, so
Okay. It was granted
that
as
one
the negative.
I have a
dex.
10.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I had a 10, so I don't take the negative, but I get the +3.
Nice.
So that's nice there. Give me go a little faster and help. Armor mastery is going to help me ward off magical bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage because I do have magical shield and armor.
Yep.
Okay. ASI. Sorry, 8 was ASI +2 wisdom, which didn't change. Now this is the one that I know I'm excited about, and I think Adam is as well. Is we're taking a whole new type thing here called side touched, which I'll throw in there right there. If you want to touch on the side touched, Adam, before I go into the specific bullets, you go ahead.
Yeah, so it'll actually expand it. So Psi Touched, Fey Touch, Shadow Touched, they exist in Tasha's, was it? Yeah, I think it was introduced.
so.
Xanathar's or Tasha's, I can't remember. But they were some very flavorful, very thematic, very fun, but very design-wise limited feats. Especially in our system where our feat system is a huge overhaul. Maybe someday we'll actually just do a video that just focuses on it because it is the largest change that we've done to 5e as in a system way. And again, we can't take all the credit. We gotta shout out Chris from Treant Monk because he's the one that really inspired it. So thank you for all his work many years ago when he did that, and we've just taken it and run with it like crazy. So yeah, so Psi Touched, I believe there was a Psi in, again, like I said, in Xanthar's or in Tasha's, don't remember exactly. But our parents, they need to have many bullets to support them, to give them that versatility. And I say a bullet because it's like one of the 3 that you pick underneath it. So Psi Touch, we completely built it out. It has, the mage hand aspect. It has the telekinetic shove. It has the telepathy, which you see in what is actually there. But then we also just really thought, like, what is Psi Touched in older editions of Dungeons and Dragons and in other forms of similar fantasy media. And I think we found something pretty cool. And yeah, so I actually don't completely know what Ben took. I see it, but I'll allow Ben to kind of go through it as well. So yeah, Psi Touch, something very new. We've never played with it. He's going to be the first character that I can think of outside of one that we play tested
I think so.
to have it. Yeah, so.
So one of the first ones I took was telepathic reprisal. I don't want to use ability. Sorry, telekinetic reprisal. Why is it not popping up on the screen? That's weird. I was trying to have
You
it pop
got
up over here.
It pops up.
Usability.
Yeah, you just have to uncheck consume usage and do usability. Yeah.
I got you. There you go. Boop, boop. I got you for it.
Got it. Okay, so basically, it's up to my proficiency per day, which is 5. As a reaction, which is kind of nice for Ben because he doesn't have a lot of reaction things, I can deal damage and potentially move someone if a certain criteria is met, which I'm making sure whenever you take damage from a creature that is within 5 times your proficiency, 25 feet of you, you can use your reaction to emanate a telekinetic energy. So basically, it's kind of like the force, if you will, where I can push people back if I have to, up to 10 feet. If they fail a strength save versus my wisdom, which is, I think, an 18 total, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong.
It's 18, yep.
Yeah, 18. So not bad, not bad. But I was kind of excited about having something to do on a reaction. Ben doesn't have a lot of reactions, so the other thing I took was Psi Shift. Okay, you're gonna have to do it again. Oh, there you go. Boom. Let me try it now. Oh, it's still not wanting to post in the thing for some reason for me.
I got you.
Okay.
There you go. When I take the dodge action and my speed is not 0, I can immediately teleport to an unoccupied space I see within 5 times my proficiency bonus. So for Ben, this kind of gives me that mobility that I sometimes need to get up to maybe to a higher location or get across something or get through some people or whatever. So I think it's going to be, again,
Giga disengage.
yeah, that as well. I can also do a peace, get out of there. And then the other one is entropic form, which you can choose. Oh, sorry, I can never say that word. You can choose to succeed on any saving throw that specifically targets your creature type or any effect that would sense your emotions or read your thoughts. So, one can't be, my thoughts can't be read, right? But the one thing that's really cool is, say, for instance, someone casts a hold spell on me. It no longer will affect me because I automatically succeed.
But if it's a hold
Hold
person,
person.
a
Yeah, whole
charm
person,
person,
yes,
a dominate
yes,
person, yeah, because you are no
yeah,
longer considered humanoid for the sake of that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yep,
And again, this may be way too powerful, and we may scale it back or something, but it's very cool that you're testing it. And actually,
yep.
one thing that reminded me is a telepathic reprisal. That's actually from Fizzbands. Then when they added the different dragon feats,
Ah,
like
nice.
gem dragons have the psychic abilities, so it's just like
So we mix it in.
rather than tying it, yeah, so we just mixed it in. It just was a natural fit. So,
Yep.
anyways,
So those are the big changes, which are a lot, almost a complete overhaul on the feats for Ben. And then, of course, I went from 153 hit points to 138 hit points. So
it is a complete
You're fine.
overhaul. You don't
yeah,
have a single original feat that you used to
yeah, I
have.
Yeah.
do, yeah, I do.
Which one?
I have
Oh, well, that gets the right
the
enlightenment.
the enlightenment ones,
Oh, those are
and
bullies.
then
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
and then I have the ASI.
Well, that's not a feat,
Sure.
but yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I get you. But as
But
far
yeah,
as like,
yeah,
yeah,
it's complete. It's pretty much a complete overhaul.
cool, 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 cool. Oh, and then just because he's saying enlightenment, so within our system, and I won't go into too much detail, but you can also replace a bullet within a feat with a species bullet. And I'm doing my best to create ones, for each one. For Ben, all you gotta understand is if he's a cleric and he's casting the haste spell, just understand it's part of his feat.
Right.
it unlocks some of those feats. So yes, don't stress.
Or mage hand.
It's fun. Yeah, exactly. So cool. All right. Anything else for Ben?
I think that's
So yeah,
pretty
your
much
equipment, I think, is
it.
all the same, right? There's no
And
changes
all my
really.
equipment, the only thing that changed recently was the adamantine, but that was a couple sessions ago. So yeah, other than that, it's all pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Cool beats.
Cool, cool, cool. All right. The next person to check in, if you're ready, is Yellow.
I'm not ready.
Okay, that's fine.
That's
Exciting.
because he's drinking.
Gotcha, gotcha. Yeah. So it was spiked goat milk. Actually, I remember from what I listened. So Karos, are you good to go and give us a review of your
Why you skipping me,
Foundry?
bro?
I'm gonna say Davis.
The
Oh, I'm so
hell?
used.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm so used to
Oh,
Davis.
Davis, he actually got
He
renamed
died.
to Leg Day, and that's why.
It's after the K.
Sorry. I'm so used to skipping for.
God damn. Yeah,
Oh,
for
sorry,
the,
it was-
I thought they changed it to Siva did.
Sivad
What's that?
Lertnak.
Stars also got a silent PH in front of it.
Yeah, oh,
Yes.
goddamn.
Yeah.
Don't
Right,
start
sorry.
that shit.
You're
David,
good. Davis,
so
I will
fine.
say it's almost identical to what he already was. The one real change so far was just a change that Adam and I discussed and worked and have playtested a little bit with one of my subclass feats, so the Battlefront Marshal subclass of our custom Warlord class, which that I guess is one worth pointing out is Davis in D&D Beyond was a paladin because you cannot do custom classes in D&D Beyond, but now I am just a freaking warlord, so I don't have to worry about, pretending that I have heavy armor proficiency because I don't. I don't have to pretend that I don't have lay on hands because I'm not a freaking paladin. So the things that I have are the things that I have, and I love it. But yeah, no, so the specific feature is my level 6 Battlefront Marshal feature called Tempered Hand. In the past, it was like a battlefield control thing where I could nudge things around the battlefield, and I used to do it a good amount at lower levels, where if I hit something, I can move it 5 feet, or if it's big enough, I can just move around it in little 5-foot increments, and it was good. But the one thing that it felt like this particular subclass kind of lacked was a little bit of mobility, and the tempered hand stuff was it was just a little bit underwhelming. So we kind of went, maybe a little bit big. This might be a little bit too good, but it'll certainly be fun at least testing it. So the new tempered hand, it's a reaction. I guess I could just put it in the chat and then read it. So it's a reaction. So whenever a hostile creature within 30 feet of me that I can see in here makes an attack or imposes a saving throw against an allied creature, so like if they're casting again like a well not a hold person against Ben because that doesn't work, but maybe if they do something else, hold person against somebody else, then I can use my reaction to move up to my speed towards them, and then if that brings me within striking distance of them, basically if I can do a weapon attack or a unarmed strike, then I can make a single attack as part of that reaction. And if it hits, then I get to roll a merit die, which right now is a d12 because we just hit level 15 not that long ago. And I reduce either the attack roll or the save DC that they're imposing by that d12, which is kind of crazy. So it's like a reverse bardic inspiration at this level against the enemy sort of thing. It's a banic inspiration. And in addition to that, once I make this reaction, until the start of my next turn, I get a bonus to my AC equal to my charisma mod, which is +4 right now. So I'll have a 22 AC for the duration. So it'll be fun because even if I'm gonna take opportunity attacks as a result of it, I might still do it anyway because my AC will be bumped up as I do it because I'm just like so focused in on, dealing, supporting my allies so much that I disallow others from impeding them is the idea. So that's really the only thing because everything else is essentially identical. I didn't get any of the int bonus stuff because I never had positive int, and yeah, I think everything else is basically the same. For me, the organization
I
stuff
feel
is
your
better.
pain on the end.
What about it?
I said I feel your pain on
Oh,
the
yeah.
end. I'm a big dummy too.
Well, I'm not even that dumb because I have the educated feet. So I have good skills and stuff.
He's got street smarts.
I got skills, baby.
Yeah,
But yeah.
and you didn't change out any of your bullets.
Nope.
You
I
added
thought about
just
it.
so you had-
I thought about doing like fell-handed or something like that, but no. So my bullets are still the same. But I will remember that I have them all now because it's just easier to track them all. Whereas before it was a bit of a nightmare. So
And I guess the most significant change, which he mentioned maybe on stream or off, he's got proficiency in not just water vehicles,
Oh,
but
yeah,
land
land
vehicles
vehicles.
as well.
That
I
was the
forgot.
main mistake that I made in my own character. Because yeah, I didn't realize. I think I didn't realize my background gave me water vehicles, and then Warlord gives you the choice
Warlord
of
gives you
either
the
land
choice.
or water, and it's like, well, I already got water, so now I got water and land.
Very cool. All right, nice. Good to have. Yeah, Davis. Yeah, cool. And I was actually really nice looking at especially your features breakdown because I'm so used to the D&D Beyond one where it's
Oh,
like
it's like
exit,
exit,
don't
do
have
not
this, don't
use.
use
This
this.
is fake.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
The jank is much lower now for sure.
yeah. And the fact that it is our custom class, it's kind of cool to see it
Yeah.
actually kind of out there. It's cool. Thank you.
Yep.
Now I will move forward and let's see, Karos, are you good to go? Give us a little rundown. Because I know there were some
Yes.
changes with you as well.
Yeah, minor changes not everyone might be able to notice. The most prevalent being Karos is now a 2-foot tall fairy rune knight instead of a Leonin
That's
Psy
weird.
warrior. No, that's a different character.
A whole other new character that you're bringing to the next campaign. or
Yeah,
something.
next campaign.
That's a character that I believe was pre-Kara. That was like almost a Karos step in, but I wasn't sure about making a fairy character, and I
So what you're saying is we need to
So I
kill
just-
Karos so that we can see this character now.
get a replacement fighter. Yes.
Yeah.
No. So Karos is pretty similar, with I think one main change.
You do have the full 3 bullets for close quarter combo, whatever it is, single weapon.
Yeah.
Oh, single weapon. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one of the times when Karos, well, it was before. It was in Karos's travels pre-Menagerie. He took a half feat,
Ah, right.
+1 strength, and then close quarters fighting for his grapple offhand technique that he has oft used. He is still keeping that, but also going with parry attack 1 and 2 for a more defensive aspect. He has a tendency to get hit a lot, so I figured having another reaction. He has a few reactions with all of his Battlemaster options, but having most of those are kind of offensive. So having another defensive option at the ready is a nice use of the reaction.
So real quick, for those of you that are keen on 5e, you heard him say Psy Warrior, and you heard him say Battlemaster. Yeah, Battlemaster does not exist in Materia. Reason for it is in the years I played D&D coming up to taking over and actually making this world, I had played many campaigns, and I believe out of 8 fighters, only one of them was not a Battlemaster in my groups, and that was an Eldritch Knight. So to me, that really indicated that Battlemaster might as well just be part of the core class. So all fighters in Materia, doesn't matter if you're a champion, doesn't matter if you're a samurai, doesn't matter if you're an Echo Knight or a Cyward, etc., etc. They all have the core features of Battlemaster rolled in. So, and it's
nice.
yeah, it seems like it's been fun. It doesn't seem overpowered, especially when you consider that we have wizards and clerics and bards casting 7th, 8th level
Right.
spells.
And we've also
know.
bumped power level across the board generally.
Yes. So anyways,
For
I just
any,
wanted to put
for
that
any
in.
martial players that have ever used up their subclass cooldowns and then felt like an attack
bot.
spammer, it helps spice that up a bit by having a short rest resource tied to your main class, which is very nice. Yeah, so parry attack, that's new. That is I got two ranks. The first rank allowing you to boost AC for a particular attack that would hit you. You expend your reaction and gain your proficiency bonus to your AC for that attack, potentially causing it to miss, kind of like a shield spell. Parry attack 2, when you do that effect, after you lose proficiency bonus from that attack, you retain a +2 AC until the start of your next turn. So a more of a lasting boost against any subsequent attacks that might come in after that. And it felt decent for when you're low on Battlemaster die and such, and you just are looking for something to kind of keep you up in the mix, and hopefully take a few less hits. After that, let me see. I believe the other. This is kind of because Karos came in, I believe, at level 7 or level 9. So some of these were just sort of picked and weren't really in a specific order. So I think technically the half feet Karos picked at level 4 was +1 int. And his what is it called?
Versatile intuition.
Yes, versatile intuition, which allows him to use his massive intellect to help overcome the more wisdom-based skill checks that he makes. So I can swap out my wisdom modifier, which is poor, with my intelligence modifier, which is much better.
Mhm.
And then, so level 6 was a half feat with the single weapon fighting, but is now the 3 bullet point version of that. Level 8 is a bump to intellect. Level 12 is a bump to strength. level 14 was a bump to Constitution per normal. I
220s
believe
and
I'm
an
gonna
18.
take another. Yes. I believe I'm gonna take another feat at 16, but still kind of mulling some things over there. But otherwise, everything else is mostly the same with Karos.
I love it. And something I would point out, and I would encourage any DM that's listening to this, or just anyone that's at a table. I'm not going to tell you how to run your game. The D&D or any tabletop game, you run it the way you want to. But my players know that role playing, skill checks, ability checks are just as much a part of the game as attack rolls and saving throws. So a lot of my players, they took things like educated or versatile intuition or versatile intellect because they understand, hey, having a negative, uh, you know, survival because I have a negative wisdom score when I can replace that with a positive score because I have intelligence might actually be worth it. So I'm not telling you how to run the game, just consider it. It's not all combat simulator. Nice.
Especially with the base D&D having such low skill floors for how many skills you can acquire.
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes if you have an idea of what you want in a character, it can be hard to represent that without severely hampering some of your choices to be effective at your class. Not all the time, but it can happen. So it's nice to be able to customize it a little better.
Yeah, thank you, man. So CLO, hooking back over to you, buddy. You good? You make your choice,
And we can help you.
and we can help you.
I'm
Course.
gonna need help.
Okay. All right. So, I will. Is this just which feat loadout you wanted to go with?
Yeah, that's the only thing I'm hung up on with like
Sure.
the small changes.
Very well.
Shuffling
I
around
will.
these feats with the
I got you, buddy.
race
I got
feats, species feats moving around. I could do something cool with that, but one of them is already good. I think one of them is already in. I think
And we can.
magical training.
Yes. So,
I want to keep
um,
one there.
gotcha.
And I could also put another one in Thaumaturge.
Possibly, if you want to.
Interesting.
So
But I
this.
can also get rid of the Seeing the Shadows,
Mhm.
right?
Well,
I
that's
think
so.
I'm reading it
I
wrong.
will help you with that. Yeah. So I will help you with that. So, what we did, and this is again because my players had a chance to overhaul. Thaumaturge. Thaumaturge. Let's talk about Thaumaturge. Thaumaturge is like side touch. So it did not exist before this. Thaumaturge is our attempt to take some of the casting that was given to you from things like Fey Touched and Shadow Touch, and give you the option to pick it, but have some versatility in it. So Thaumaturge was this very difficult concept for us to hammer out, but I think we've settled on a pretty nice spot on it. Is you can take up to 3 bullets in it, and for each bullet that is a Thaumaturge bullet, you get a charge. And these charges allow you to cast spells. And the list that Thaumaturge carries with it is mostly utility 2nd level spells. Some of them are stronger than others, but some of them are, well, I would say some of them are up front appear to be stronger than others, but really they all fill a unique niche. Misty Step, for example, is an example. It's great. It's a wonderful spell. It's easy to overspam, but that is from Fey Touched, so we put it in Thaumaturge. Invisibility, another great spell. That is from Shadow Touch, so we put it in there. But we also put in stuff like Spider Climb, Pass Without a Trace, uh, Dark Vision, uh, other things like that. So Cielo, speaking to you,
Yeah.
when Cielo was introduced and the concept of Cielo, I don't believe it's too spoilery at this point. He was a
No.
little padfoot that has wandered into the Fae and has been, we call it the Fae Binds. traditionally called the Feywild. He wandered into the Feybites and was changed.
Mhm.
And something we were not able to express correctly was his ability to use some magics, kind of the mischievous kind of manipulative magics. And
Mhm.
so what I did, we made Cielo just so he could play with us for a while. And then now that we've done this overhaul, I made another loadout for him to kind of help that gives him some of that mischief and actually takes advantage of the Thaumaturge spell. So yes, if you look at version 2, which is the one that I went for you, it's pretty similar to what you've already had. It just gives you more of that spell casting flavor. So yeah, you would have magical training, and you still have your hedge magic that gives you your dancing lights, which are your red rabbit eyes that you like to do, and gives you
Yeah.
the minor illusion, which you've been using. But now, kind of a fun one, we introduced Cantrip Adept. So Cantrip Adept allows you to cast cantrips that don't do damage or don't impose saving throws. So it's a pretty limited list, but you can do it as a bonus action. So now, bonus action, minor illusion to create yourself some hard cover, right? Because you can make cover where people can't see through it, but you can see out of it potential. Or you can
Yeah.
easily illuminate a room with your dancing lights. So it works. And then there, yeah, we put your Padfoot one with Trigger Hoppy because it seems pretty good. It's a natural fit there. Then you took Naturally Skulker previously. So I didn't take that away from you, but I heavily edited it. But before I did that, I wanted to front load you with that Fey. Um, well, no, let me reverse that. I could have uploaded you with Fey early with the Thaumaturge, but I went ahead and went with your Skulker Cath, kind of keep it more similar to what you had. And this
Mhm.
is where you had originally See in the Dark because Rabbit, Padfoots, which are Harangon, they don't have dark vision. So we
Mhm.
gave you that originally, but we really did a lot of cool, flavorful changes to Skulker, and I wanted you really to test like what we've put in. So you still have your hidden sniper because that's your whole gimmick. You know,
Yep.
that's perfect. But then we wanted to something that naturally occurred as the group was playing is Sailor was always very hard to spot, and kind of serendipitously we created a bullet that was easily overlooked. So I gave you that, and that's like if you're in dim light or darkness, which you often will be because that's what you
Mhm.
take advantage of.
You get a lot of
Someone,
bonuses from it anyway.
yeah, if someone tries to target you, they have to make a perception check or make a check essentially to say that they can target you. If not, then they have to choose a new target. Uh, and then on that, we also took another one, which is preparation, kind of playing into your scout likeness. You're scouting ahead and getting ready for the group. That preparation, like if you guys do surprise somebody, not only so people have one of the most misplayed rules in 5e is surprise. It's not a condition, it's just an effect. And if a creature is surprised, they technically still roll initiative. They still technically are in the turn order. They just kind of don't get to do anything on their turn. So preparation
Mhm.
now it makes them when they're getting to roll initiative, it's a disadvantage. And then when they get out of that, they can only take an action or a bonus action, not both. So it kind of makes you coordinate the attack a little bit better. Then we continued forward. We gave you your, dexterity boost to get you up to 20, and then at level 8, we kept you, with the same ranged combat specialist. So you can deadly aim, and then you can careful aim, and then we put your other one, that hair today, gone tomorrow. So that's pretty much the same. And then this is
Yeah.
where at 10, we introduced your expression of that thaumaturge that you really want. Previously, you were running Practice Combatant, which gave you the archery fighting style and Mortal Reminder, but we dropped that for this version. And we now gave you more of that spell casting. And this is where you can tweak it. I just gave you some suggestions. So I did
Mhm.
Concealment, which is Pass Without Trace. You're already sneaky. Fey magic kind of allows you to get more sneaky on your friends. Uh, Lucidium, we took that one. That one gives you dark vision. It lasts 8 hours. So now, instead of having 2 bullet points in Skulker, you have 1 bullet point in Thaumaturge, and it gives you kind of the same feature. So we kind of swapped something, kind of changed it around. And then another one that I thought was just kind of fun, we did Shirk. Shirk, it just lets you create rope trick, so every once in a while you can go into an extra dimensional space for an hour with your friends. It feels very Cielo-y. Um, that's the main change compared to what you used to have. And the way that Thaumaturge works now is because you have 3 spells from Thaumaturgy. You have 3 charges. You do not have to use one charge for Pass Without Trace, another charge for Dark Vision, another charge for Rope Trick. You can You can use all 3 charges in one day for dark vision if you wanted to, or you can do 2 for pass without trace and 1 for. It doesn't matter. You just have 3 charges, and that's the expression. I think version 2 goes more into your original story. Version 1 is what you've played with. Either are viable, either are great. I just wanted to give you those 2 options.
Yeah, I think I want to try version 2, the one that you were just talking about.
Okay.
And if it feels wrong, then we will play with it when I have some time.
It's fine. Yeah. Yeah.
My life
So
is crazy right now.
I would ask you this then, because the biggest one that I was not very comfortable choosing, I just did it just so you kind of had it. Look at
Yeah.
the thaumaturge feat. Look at the different spells that they give you. I did pass without trace because it's stealth. I gave you Lucidium because it gives you dark vision, and I gave you Shirk just because I think it was funny.
Yeah, rope trick's dope. Rope trick is pretty
Rope trick is
amazing
pretty
when
dope.
it's amazing.
Yeah. So what I will do then, I'm gonna drop regular Cielo into the hiatus folder. I put Cielo version 2 in the main folder. And that's it. I mean, yeah, and then you Cielo as a rogue, so people don't know. I despise 5e rogue. It's so poorly made. And to me, rogue is the one class that has always been like, well, anyone could be a rogue, technically. So we really did a lot to try to give it new flavor, new fun. So yeah, Rogan, it's still roguey, but it's very different. And now all these changes, which I felt for Cielo, when we were porting Cielo from D&D Beyond over into this, there was 7 mistakes, and it's not even. Again, it's not his fault. It's just it's so hard to support all the changes that we made. But now everything's there. Everything should be visible, and yeah. So, but that helps.
But also, boo, Donnie, you're the worst. You suck. I hate you.
Yes. And Ciela and Sej is glad that he's an NPC now. He told me.
And I'll get away with
Wow.
it too.
Yeah. So cool. So yeah, Donnie, I would say on version 2, if you look at it and you go to the 4th tab, it's your spells. It actually tells you what spells you have. So you have your Dancing Lights, you have your Minor Illusion, and then you have Dark Vision Thaumaturge, Pass Without Trace Thaumaturge, and Rope Trick Thaumaturge. So I hope that helps.
So, could I potentially change these out as like a prepared caster, or do these have
No.
to be concrete at some
They're
point?
feet bullets, so when you can change a feet bullet is when you can change it.
Yeah.
Got you. Okay.
But as of right now, because
Right.
I'll let you read over the list, and obviously, but yeah, then it's, yeah.
But once you lock in, you're locked in until you can change feet bullets.
And
Makes
the,
sense.
I would, yeah, and the reason I would say this because you said that you could have swapped one of the thaumaturge ones with one of your species. The reason I didn't do that is because if you do 3 bullets in thaumaturge that are thaumaturge, you get 3 charges. So even if you never use, like, even if let's say you use rope trick like once in 50 sessions, that's still giving you that 3rd charge,
Right.
so that you can do that extra. Yeah.
You can still do pass without trace 3 times in a day if you really want. Whereas if you only do 2, then you only have 2.
Cool. All right. And then I will. So the last player, Rock, aka Rock and Pebble. Scheduling is hard. So we haven't had a chance to get Rock ported over correctly into Foundry. However, we will work during the week with TJ to do that. So he will be running on D&D Beyond. But yeah, CJ, looking forward to anything and everything we can do to help you with it.
Okie dokie. I'll be better this week. I'll have much more free time.
No worries.
That's perfect. Yeah, man. There's no stress. This is for me. First and foremost, this is meant to be for fun. So please never feel stressed. But yeah, so if Danny wants to real quick, we already kind of created a template for him, kind of carrying it over. He can show that, it's here. Mostly just need to walk our player through it, make sure that he's happy with if he wants to switch out any feats, and then just build out that giant spell list because he's our cleric wizard.
Yeah.
So, and then we can also create Pebble in here as well, his familiar.
Yep.
So that's where we'll go from there. So, does anyone have any comments, questions, or anything before we wrap up the character revamp and give ourselves a small break and then get into mainline Materia.
I'm stoked to see a new
Yeah.
Ben and new Cielo.
Yeah, I have a comment.
Yeah.
Your mom.
Whoa!
That's all.
Don't make Ben start getting in your ass already.
And I'll get
Big
away with
brother
it too.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool guys.
Don't
Alright.
don't make me shove you in your hidey hole.
I'm in half late. You're gonna have to roll perception.
This is true. It's DC
true.
17. Although
Ooh,
his
something
perception's
big.
pretty good.
Something really big for all
I
my
see you.
players. One of the things big that Foundry allows you to do in here. So I know some of you have done it on your sheet, some of you have not. Davis, if you can open up your sheet,
Sure.
right? Because you have.
Yeah.
So there's a favorites.
Oh yeah, it's super nice.
You can order it in whatever order you want to.
Yep.
You can take whatever features you want, drag and drop it over here, just to remind yourself. I mean, obviously you have your features tab, you have your spells tab, but it's really nice.
Yeah, the left sidebar will always be there no matter which tab you're on. That's why the favorites is nice. Because like if I'm going to look at like my effects or something, if I'm looking at my inventory, if I'm looking at my features, like that favorites is stuck there. So
What's that? That's the only thing I wanted to bring up.
yeah, use it.
So,
It's good.
You can customize it. You can do a lot of things.
If nothing else,
So-
like for me, the charge-based stuff, like my merit dice, like I'm hardly ever actually like actively clicking it and saying use it. Like I'm usually just adjusting it manually because like I'll do a moment of courage and spend like 3 of it. But this just gives me a way to quickly edit that and quickly see it right here. Like I don't have to flip over to the features tab, do that, and then it's like the stuff that I'm gonna use or want to see the most often. That's what I'm putting over here.
That's all that I got for you guys. So with that, let's go ahead and wrap this extended intro off. Give ourselves like 3-5 minutes to kind of stretch and get ready, and then we'll get into session 171.